With Election Day nearly a year away, the debate over Social Security continues to heat up. News that Social Security checks will soon rise nearly 4% comes as many are calling the plan a Ponzi scheme. Joining me now with more is Katie Pavlich, news editor of townhall.com and contributing editor of Town Hall magazine. Katie, welcome to the show. Last week when we saw that they were finally going to give these cost of living adjustments for recipients, we also learned that people would have to, give a greater percentage of their pay to the plan. So a lot of people felt like, it sort of negated the whole thing. And it reminded everyone that this seems to be a seriously flawed plan to begin with.
Right, and let's take you back to the beginning when Social Security was passed. We recently did a story for Town Hall magazine on why Social Security has been broke since the beginning. It was passed in 1935. By 1939, just 4 short years later, they were already talking about increasing Social Security taxes by 50% because the money had already been spent on other government programs. Now you fast forward to today, by 2017, Social Security will pay out more than it takes in. By 2035, CBO estimates it will be bankrupt, and we currently have $6.5 trillion in unfunded Social Security liabilities.
Now people who say that the program is pretty good, maybe just needs to be tinkered a little bit, will say you can't fault the plan because it was rated. In fact, the idea that it was rated might underscore that at least there was something there at some point.
Right, but I think we really need to look at how this is going to come down. I think people have this idea that they can protect Social Security checks for those who are receiving them now while reforming the system for younger voters. But is that really how it goes? Because aren't the checks being paid out now to seniors being paid for by younger paychecks? I mean, I think that we need to come to reality with every age demographic here is going to be hit by this, and $6.5 trillion in unfunded liabilities, I mean, that's 40% of the national debt. It's not something you can just tinker around with without completely redoing the entire system.
Katie, so you're saying that when Rick Perry called it a Ponzi scheme, he was absolutely correct.
I think he was absolutely correct, and I'm a little disappointed that since that comment, not only was he demonized for that, but we haven't seen the GOP field or even President Obama address Social Security in a way that it needs to be. I mean, he was really the only honest person, and quite frankly, a Ponzi scheme is something you get into on your own. It's voluntary. Social Security isn't. You're forced by the government every 2 weeks to give a large portion of your money, which would definitely be better invested in a 401k or a private retirement account.
We've got a minute left. I want to shift gears because I know there was a piece in a New York Post yesterday that sort of got you a little frustrated. The spike in crime in New York City and the connection to Occupy Wall Street.
Right. Essentially, the specialized crime units that need to be used in high crime neighborhoods to combat crime there have now been moved to Occupy Wall Street to keep those people in check. And the shooting rate has actually gone up. And 3 kids were gunned down in front of a Brooklyn school. And it's just really unfortunate that not only are these protesters costing taxpayers in New York City under budget cuts up to $2 million for overtime pay for police, but they're also costing people their lives and inhibiting public safety.
All right, well, you know what? We're running out of time, but believe me, you'll be back. You're going to have to come back and defend that statement. Thank you very much, Katie Pavlich.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.